Hey, my name is Eric. I'm making animated faces for the web. It's going to be a live coding session in React and TypeScript. I'm chiefly going to be worried about getting work done, but if people hop on, I'll definitely chat with them. Let me demo what I did yesterday, or the day before yesterday, to be more accurate. Okay, let's go take a look. All right. So if I click on these buttons up at the top here, they basically make the mouth change to the different viseme that represents the sound that the face makes later on when I add audio. So when we speak, there's some common visual expressions which are called bisemes for each type of sound that comes out of our mouth. If we say L, then you get a little bit of tongue showing there and the mouth open a bit. If we say something with the letters M, B, or P in it, it's a closed mouth kind of sound. And likewise, all the other ones are there. Now this doesn't mean these are all the possible ways your face could express sounds. It's just that these are some common ones that will cover everything well enough so that you don't have to create, maybe a continuous set of animation for every possible expression that the face might make. You can condense it into just these 9 visemes or expressions of mouth utterances, and this set of frames was created by Preston Blair, one of the original Disney animators, probably almost a century ago, something close to a century ago. But it's good stuff. It's definitely held up over time. Okay, so I've got code that makes all this stuff work, but it was assuming the assets would be arranged in a certain way and be combined together in a certain way based on a previous project that I made. So I'll go and show that real quick. Let's go to the queen face sheet. Okay, so the way this rig works is it depends on there being a bottom half of the face for the mouth and a top half of the face for the eyes and the rest of the head. And it will show the top half or bottom half depending on certain rules. The things that feed into it are the visemes and the mood. So I've got, I think it's 11 different moods. Neutral, confused, sad, afraid, evil, suspicious, amused, happy, thinking, angry, irritated. And this is maybe not the best example because some of these moods I reused. So, for example, confused and sad have the same mouth there. But on some of the other assets that were created earlier by Bettina Throckmorton, a graphic designer and artist I hired, and a few by myself, I had all 11 moods. Anyways, that's kind of irrelevant. The problem with this rig, for my current purposes, is that the top and bottom half are coupled to each other, which is nice as far as creating a unique look for every character. But there's another type of rig that has some other advantages. I'm calling it a Mr. Potato Head rig, because it's based upon a starting base and then putting components on top of it, kind of like adding them like they're pieces that you plug into it. And if I make the mouth not attached to the whole head, not coupled to it, then I can take the same mouth and put it on another head, and it'll still look good. So if you think of animation like South Park, the mouths are pretty much all the same. There's exceptions, but for the most part, the mouths are just the same mouth. They're easily reusable on, Cartman or Kenny or whoever. So I'm going for that Mr. Potato Head type of rig with this new framework that I'm creating, because I want interchangeability between different heads and to be able to create heads from pieces quickly. And maybe at some point even let my users author their own heads or faces. So what I did is I took an earlier face sheet. Let me show the original one. Billy face sheet. Okay, so no, this isn't it either. This is the Bettina version of Billy, and then I have a different one open. Where is it at? Billy. Right here. Okay. So here's a rig in the old style, where the mouth is a full half of the face or a complete section of the face. And here's all the viazemes over here on the right. Then here's these parts here for the eyes. I'm not really messing with the eyes yet, but when I get to them, as far as coding them into the framework, they'll also be like pop-on eyes, like Mr. Potato Head eyes. Okay, but this is the old style where the top and bottom halves of the face are coupled to each other, and you can't really use them for anything else. But I split them out. So see how the mouths here, they're all bottom half of face. Over here, they're an overlay. They're just the mouth. I can overlay them on top of this face graphic. And that face graphic has got an empty spot here where it's just all skin colored, so that I can just drop those other mouths on top of it. So if I get a good library of mouths and a good library of eyes, and maybe some customization where you can change like the skin color and stuff programmatically, then what that would allow me to do is say to create a new character face, I create this base face, and maybe there'll be like a skin color over this eye area too, and then I just pop the eyes and the mouth I want onto it. So today I'm going to revise my rendering code to use this new Mr. Potato Head style of rig. And that's what's coming. So let's go over and make those changes. Okay, so this can be Billy face. And this could be Billy mouth. Okay. And right now, oh, wait, no, these are eyes. I don't need the eyes component for the moment, but what I do need is okay, this is mouth. Let's get rid of eyes for now. I did see like a different way of writing this method from a different library that I liked, which was add child at, and then you can say 10, 20. So yeah, I kind of like that. So I'm going to say, let's take that out, and I'll fix my component to use this new method. Just seems a lot briefer and concise and useful. So canvas component, let's go there. Add child, let's do yeah, Pixie.js had this method type, and I just, as soon as I saw it, I thought, yeah, I'll just copy that. So we'll say this is just going to call this add child component, and we can also say child component offset x and y are set here, and that will just make a nicer way to add children. Okay, so do that. Okay, so then I need to redo some of the logic in these guys. So head now needs to load in an image. It wasn't before. Let's move head over here. Use mouth as a reference because it's got some stuff here that I can just copy. Let's see. Load image. And then this will be face sheet URL. Actually, I won't make it face sheet URL. I'll just say image URL. I should call it sprite sheet. Then I can be consistent across all of these. Okay, sprite sheet URL. Okay, then I actually need to load the image and create a bitmap out of it. So for that, bring this guy in. Then head component state needs to create a bitmap there. Okay, so say head bitmap, and that's going to be image bitmap. Okay, and then we say load head bitmap from the URL. Okay, sprite sheet URL promise, and we'll just return one image bitmap from that. For this, just say return create image bitmap 0, 0. Then I need actually the width in pixels of the loaded image. I think I can get that const w equals image width. Yes, thank you. I'm pretty sure that's going to be in pixels. Image height. And I'm just really not a fan of abbreviating. I don't know why I did just there. Okay, so an onload. Just take sprite. URL. Okay, and then here I want head bitmap void load head bitmap sprite sheet URL like that. Okay, that's pretty simple. On render, we do actually have to render something. Component state as head. Component state, and then it's going to be this guy. Okay. I think I can make this non-optional. Okay, don't need visim. Oh, I think that does head. So now let's move on to eyes. Eyes is, I just for now, I'm gonna keep it mostly as it is, but fix a few things. Consistency in the naming convention. So that will just be good for now, but it's not the important one. Let's go to mouth. Okay. Oops. So if iZeem actually needs one more. Okay, then I will need to make emotions as well. I could put this over in events. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Put that in events. And then I'll make my emotions enum as well. Okay, and I want them to go in the same order as my my sprite sheet. And I've almost got this memorized. Let's see how I do. Confused, sad. I want to say amused. I'm forgetting. Let's take a look. So, afraid, evil, suspicious. Amused, happy, thinking. Angry, irritated. Yeah, I suppose count. Okay. And I know there's going to be another topic, which will be emotion. Inside of onload, I want to subscribe also to emotion. Okay, and then my component state will have current emotion. Come from events. Okay. So then we say mouth component state, current emotion. Let's event as emotion. Okay. So from here, I want something like give me the bitmap for emotion and iZeem And go for, let's see, Visine bitmaps. And I also need a motion bitmaps. Motion bitmaps. Okay, over here, need to load something. Let's just do both of them in one. Okay. Do promise. Okay, let's do a type here. Visine bitmaps. If it's rest, I don't want to push rest. So let's see. I could put rest at the end. Yeah, let's just put it at the end. Nah, I don't like that either. All right. Just leave it there. Okay. Could do this. If Visine I equals emotion Visine rest continue, and that'll skip the first one, but it won't be as coupled to the order. I think these are coupled to the order anyway, so I shouldn't fuss with it too much. Okay, so that's Visine bitmaps, and then this is honestly probably worth splitting them out. So let's do async let's see, image to Visine bitmaps. We'll say image, and then what is it? What are you returning? HTML image element. Okay. Okay, and this will be an async. Okay, so it's going to be promise. image bitmap. Okay. Let me say return vising bitmaps. Okay, then here I'm going to say image to emotion bitmaps. Okay, that's not correct yet, but just so I can write this next part. Okay, vising bitmaps, image to vising bitmaps, image. Okay, and then this is an await. Okay, then go down to emotion bitmaps. Okay, that's that. The structure, just to make it a little more simpler to read. Okay, this becomes that, and then we go emotion bitmaps. Okay, and this is emotion and vising to bitmap. You know, like every single variable that I need to pass here is in mouth component state, so let's just make this mouth component state to bitmap. And inside here I'll probably destructure it. Say const emotion bitmaps. Vising bitmaps, current emotion, current vising equals mouth component state. Okay. And then we say that if current vising is equal to rest. Rest means show emotion. Show one of the mouths that expresses emotion, whereas all the other vising constants mean show a vising frame that expresses a spoken utterance. So if the mouth is at rest, it's not talking, we show a frame that expresses the current emotion of the character. Otherwise, we show a frame that expresses whatever the character is saying at that moment. So let me see if do my emotions line up exactly. They do. Okay. Okay. So if it's rest, we return emotion bitmaps. Current emotion. That's it. Okay. For Viazemes, return Viazeme bitmaps. But then because I've got rest at the beginning, I have to do current Viazeme -1. Okay, I can write this a little more concisely. Return okay. Okay, this will just be the bitmap. Okay. Okay, so now I just gotta fix the image chopping inside of these because these coordinates are no longer correct. So x mouse is always going to be 0, y mouse is always going to x and y, they're all going to be 0. Okay. cx mouth. Actually, this would be x Viazeme mouths. Let me just make some redundant declarations here. Emotion mouths. Emotion mouths, okay. Coming back over here, just let me do a little bit of counting. So it's going to be what's this? I can get rid of this. Delete that. Okay. Okay. So I believe there's 9 here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The 10th one is gonna start at 1280, I believe. 64 times 10 times 2. Yeah, 1280. Okay. So 1280. And CX mouth, I'll come back to that in a second. CY mouth is 64 times 2 is 128. Yeah, CX mouth is 256. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this will be X mouths, X viseme mouths. Y viseme mouths. It's viseme I -1. Don't see why mouth. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit long, so I'll drop down a line. Okay, so that should do those. This is going to be X emotion mouths, Y emotion mouths. Drop that down. Okay. But these are no longer visemes. These are emotions. Emotion I equals 0. This line goes away. And these become emotion bitmaps. Okay, so that's probably what it needs to be. I'm sure there's a bug in it. Okay, what's the deal with head? You seem like okay, you're complaining about something. Oh, okay. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna go to app. And should I try to get this right on the first try, or should I just fudge it? Okay. Component yet, so I'll take that out. I don't know, let's just see what it looks like to begin with. Yeah, okay, nothing yet. Okay, import viseme from, this is where, viseme selector, okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. Have to get the offset right. But that's not so hard. I'm pretty happy with this starting result. Pretty happy. Okay. Let's eyeball this and see what makes sense. Since I know that this guy is 128 high, I'll kind of just make a educated guess. So I say the offset needs to come down 1, 2, 3, 4 mouths, maybe 3.5 mouths. 3.5 times 128 equals 450, we'll say. So, 450. Come over a little here. Let's go to 50. Let's see what it looks like. Too far. No, I was way off. Oh, I know why. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. 250, 300, 280. Getting there. Pretty close. Yeah, let's pick some of the more extreme ones to begin with, just to make sure I'm fitting in okay. Now, a thing that I am missing that the old animation had was the head would move around along with it, like the nose and cheeks would squish around with the mouth movements. So if you come back to these faces, there's things like, if you look at the jawline on all these guys, you can see it goes like, it squishes and it goes up and down and stuff. Like if you've got an O, the chin comes down. I do want to get that capability back in this type of rig, this new type of rig that I'm doing. But the way I'm going to do it is not with individual assets that cover like the different ways the jaws and mouth can use. I'm going to use a mesh warp on this face graphic. And that will make it so that I don't have to generate a whole bunch of assets for everything. And instead I'll just do some warping on the face as I go through different expressions. Okay, so that does my visemes. The next thing I want to control is emotion. So I want another bar like this one, but for emotions. Yeah. So I have a viseme selector. I'll make an emotion selector. Mateo, what's going on? Okay, the emotions. There are 11. Neutral. Not natural. Neutral. Oh. Sick, huh? See, it's maybe a good thing to get a little sick, but not a lot sick. A little sick, it helps your immune system. Anyways. All right. Neutral. What else? What else? Neutral. Confused. Sad. Confused. Sad. Afraid, evil, suspicious. Amused, happy, thinking. I gotta make a few more. What is that one? Angry and irritated. And over here, this has to change. Motion. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it the smarter way. I'll just do search and replace. Viseme, change to emotion. Let's replace all. There you go. That's not bad. Now these guys. Neutral. This guy. Confused. Sad. Afraid. Evil. Suspicious. Amused. Happy. Thinking. Angry. Irritated. Okay, so all those styles I'll have to update in a second. Okay, so let's get this and create a style sheet. Motion selector, module, CSS. Okay, that. And it feels like I need to go smaller on the font size. Do font size, small. Okay, then come back to app. Too many files open. Okay, so Viseme selector, and then let's do the motion selector. Okay, and come back over to the web page, see what we got. Yeah, they're all there. Let's make them so they all fit. Small, let's do extra small. That's better. But I also need to change the width. Let's go 3.4. No, that's pretty good. Oh, that also means on the Viseme selector, I want one for rest. Okay, so if I I do that, no. Sad, okay. Afraid. Evil. I'm off by 1 someplace. So that's evil. This is afraid. This is sad. Okay, I'm off by 1. I don't know why it's not centering inside of here. It's kind of weird. Maybe because it's too large for it to center. Because these other ones are centered. That one's centered. That one is. If they get too large, they can't center. Maybe that's all it is. Okay, so let's do motion selector. Go just a little bit larger. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, the off by 1 error, I can get that. I just centered the head. It looks a little nicer. Okay, neutral is not doing anything. Confused is doing sad. Okay. So if I go to the emotion selector, these are all correct. If I go to the mouth renderer, motion bitmaps, and it's going to pick current emotion, and emotion neutral should be 0. Is that true? I can check that pretty quick. Yeah, neutral 0, okay? So then the loading might be wrong. So I said emotions begin at 1280. I think that's the off by 1 right there. Okay, 1280 minus the height of the mouth, which is 128, 1152. Okay, there's neutral, there's confused, there's sad, afraid, evil, suspicious, amused, happy, thinking, angry, irritated. Now it's missing, like the I is also doing an emotion, but because I haven't coded the eyes yet. But the mouths appear to be working as hoped for. So AI overrides. Okay. Tempted to go look at my email, but I don't want to do that while I'm on stream, so I'm just going to close that so I'm not tempted by it. Okay, so that part's done. Still got lots of time left here. I think I should go into the eyes. The only thing is I don't have all of the eye acids chopped up. Do I want to do that on stream? Yeah, there's no harm in doing that. There's no harm. But I won't have as much to talk about. What am I doing? I don't know. I'll just do the eyes. Okay. So let me think. What's the best way to chop this? Okay, so eyes will need separate parts to them. Basically the same parts I've got here that they're going to need. I also need to do some kind of masking so that when I have, well, do I need the masking? Do I really need masking? Okay, because if I've got the eye back, it can be clipped. No, I will. I'll need some masking. Canvas. Mask. Image. Okay. No. No. JS no, not HS. Not a high school canvas. A JavaScript canvas. This is probably it. Alright, I can use the solid parts of the image to clip the next drawn thing, or use the transparent areas to fill in. Okay. Use the solid parts to clip the next drawn thing. Draw the shape you want to use for clipping. Global composite operation equals source in. Then you draw the image to be clipped. Okay. I wonder, will I need like an intermediate canvas? It seems like I would, because if I begin with something other than a blank canvas, then whatever the existing pixels are there, I think they'll be interpreted as part of the clipping. So I think what I need to do is create an extra canvas. Path is not as good for me because that's going to be vector, and I'll need a raster-based mask. Okay, this is maybe a nicer version of the first person's answer. So you can save the context state, which will allow you to kind of undo this global composition operation. Okay, draw the overlay. Change the composite mode to destination stop. I don't understand what all these things do, though. So this is more complex, but it seems like the person understands what they're talking about better. Okay, so you save the context state, draw the overlay. with destination atop. I could also just look at all the global composite operations and see what's possible there. All right, let's go look at the sample. I think the sample broke at some point. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see stuff working. Okay, uncut. Failed to execute draw image on. Looks like maybe the URLs didn't load, so these are probably no longer serving. If I come over here, I'm probably gonna get a 401. 404, I mean. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this isn't bad. I'm pretty sure I can get it to work. So I think my assets look like eye blanks, irises, lids. And then it gets trickier because I need a bitmap based mask. I'm kind of worried about the anti-aliasing. You know, one way I could do it is fill in the interior area here with the solid reserved color. Okay, solid reserve color. I might have everything I need though without doing that. Because if I've got like something like this, no, here's the problem. Because I want this to be Mr. Potato Head rig, I want you know, the eyes not to contain anything but the eyes, so they can be plopped on top of different things. then I need alpha around the edges like this. And if I also have alpha inside of the eyes, there won't be a way to distinguish between the two alphas. One means we'll use it to create a mask. The other means it's just the exterior part of the eyes that won't be blit to anything. I could get tricky though. I could get just a little tricky. I could do image analysis to find the interior alpha pixels. Let's see, what would that look like? I would scan through the raster image. Okay, we'd say, let's see how would I go. Just go through any alpha pixel. Any alpha pixel that is contiguous with the top left pixel, or the ones that are, it's like a flood fill. Okay, I'm scanning through typewriter style at the top left. Maybe I keep an array of contiguous pixels. This algorithm is doable. It might be a little bit tough to write. Hey, Kavik Kendi. What's going on? I'm probably mispronouncing your handle. I do like the idea of just generating my own mask without having to do anything extra. So I'm going to start with that and create some assets based on that approach and load them in. Then I can figure out the algorithms for generating that mask. It'll be a lot easier if I begin with the assets. And I have a pretty high level of confidence that I'll be able to figure out the masking algorithm based on those assets. So it's okay for me to just work on the assets for now. Then I'll get back to coding after a bit. Okay. So let's just resave this. Call this Billy eyes. Not to be confused with Billie Eilish. Okay, so the parts I need. So the blanks here, irises, lids. And then for 11 different emotions, the eyes. Okay. So just start organizing this. I'll get rid of these mouths over here. I do want the eyes. So let's just bring them over one at a time. Okay, so it's going to be neutral. Neutral is the first one. Make my little sprite sheet. Okay, bam. Gotta be a little bit careful. Okay, because it's gonna... No, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, that's all right. As long as there's something to select along the boundary of all these, then my offsets won't get messed up. Okay, so I'll take this, move it over here. This is neutral. Okay, next. Whoops. Whoa, no. Let's go ahead and lock you so I don't drag you around accidentally. Okay. Come back. Grab this guy. Oh. Okay, so this one is confused. And then we grab that V. Okay, you come over here. Okay. Okay, this one is sad. Okay, afraid. Okay. Evil. Suspicious. Okay. Amused. Okay. Happy. Thinking. 3 more. Angry. Irritated. Okay, then the next ones are a little trickier. Let's just so I get them positioned correctly, let me let me grab this bit of background here. Okay, so if I take this, just move it over to here. Oops. There we go. Okay, then irises, we'll say bound like that. And those will probably be needing some kind of adjustment, but that's pretty good to start. Now let's see if I got these pretty close to correctly positioned. I think I did. I think all the snapping worked fine. Put them in place, just looking for any mistakes. Okay, so if I've got that, then I can crop this thing out to just what I need. So let's make sure this is okay. 256. That's correct. 1792. Is that evenly divisible by 64? It should be. Yeah. Okay. So I don't have any off by 1 pixel errors there. Let's crop this. That's all I'm gonna need. But I need to mask out the non-face parts, or the non-eye parts, I should say. Okay. Okay, there's the first one. Got it. Okay, then lasso. Need the lasso. And the reason I'm getting rid of all the other face stuff is because I want these eyes to be something that can be plopped down on top of a variety of different heads. And right now, the eyes are coupled to just one head, and they've got everything in the bitmap for the rest of the head. But if I just do some masking, yeah, this guy I spent a lot of time drawing myself. And then I wasn't that happy with the result. That's not quite right. I wasn't happy with the idea of drawing a whole bunch more characters from my last game. After I saw all the work that went into this character and one other one. So I hired an artist to continue drawing the other characters, and I liked her style. It's a lot cleaner, but it didn't really match mine. So I had her redo this character in her style, and she did a fine job with it. But I still kind of like this original version. And since I'm doing some work that isn't part of the previous game, it made me decide to resurrect this old asset that I had created instead of the more polished one that Bettina had made for the game called The God Killer Chapter 1. And I don't know, it's kind of nice to come back to it. But what I really want to have before it's all over is like a bunch of mouths and eyes, and you can just pop them onto different faces in a Mr. Potato Head style. Or you could say a South Park style, because South Park has a lot of reusable parts between the different characters. Okay, so if I take neutral and I just hide it, that's kind of what my asset will look like for the eyes. And it's got transparent pixels inside and outside of the eye. And my hope is to create a mask programmatically with an algorithm for this interior area. And I can use that mask to draw in the other parts inside the interior of the eye. Okay, so there's one down. Neutral is done. I've got 10 more to go. Let's combine those together. Call it neutral again. Okay, then we come down to here. Start masking. Boom. And I think there is an art style to be discovered for this project too. And I don't know if I'll be the one to pull it off. I don't know if I'll go back to Bettina. If I might work with somebody else. I don't know. But I just want something a little stupider. Because stupid's kind of funny. And I'd like my product to be funny. Rather than making something extremely serious, I just like a bunch of ridiculous characters. Maybe stupid is not even the best word. Kind of ugly and unpolished adds to humor. Okay, so delete that, pop it back in. There we go. All right. Grab this guy. I'm realizing too, another good thing that I can do with the auto masking code is I can also determine the area inside of the eye that the irises can move around. Because I'm going to the work to detect the mask area programmatically, I should also be able to say, well, this is the area that the irises can move inside of and still look good. Because sometimes if you don't have that area well defined, then the irises will go a little too far. Oh, hey, I just noticed your text. Sorry, I was off on my own. So your goal is to fill in irises, eyeballs, and lids. programmatically, so you can add them to all the characters. Close. So I'm distinguishing a little bit between assets, which are the images, the individual pieces of bitmaps used, and like programmatic structures. So taking a look at these things, which are the assets, anything that's an image that's supplied, that's an asset. So these eye backs, they're supposed to be drawn behind the eyes, and irises go on top of that, and the eyelids go on top of that, right? But if you're drawing these pieces, you don't want them to poke out the sides of the eyes. So for an example, I'll take these eyelids, I'll move them up to, dang it, move them up to the top. So these are the eyelids. If I put them here, it's correct for them to show up inside of this area, but it's not correct for them to show up outside. If I were going to make an asset-based mask, I would have to, inside of this bitmap, add like another image that showed like the masking area. But what I'm thinking is I don't have to create that in the image at design time. Like right now, this is design time. Instead, at runtime, I can programmatically detect that there are some alpha pixels here and here, alpha pixels here and here, that aren't connected to this larger set of alpha pixels. And I'll just say these two sets of alpha pixels that are not connected to the exterior, those will be my mask. And that will give me like an easier way to create assets, and it'll also make it so that I can do some other tricks like determine the boundaries that the irises should travel inside of. So undo the position of those things down below. Pull. And I used to not need a mask because I had all this other like foreground pixels for those other parts to hide behind. But since I want it with my new framework here to have these eyes be something you can plop down on top of any head graphic, I have to delete all this stuff around it. Otherwise, the eyes will be coupled to just one head, and I won't be able to put them on top of multiple heads. So it's just kind of a asset puzzle to solve, but I think I've got a good approach. Confused. Boom. Okay, delete that one. Okay, on to the next. Yeah, this is like maybe the 4th or 5th version of this face animation stuff I've done. I keep on making refinements for different purposes. Vikendi, are you like a developer, a game developer? Like, working on any similar projects? Wait, what's Econ XD? I might have to Google search that to save you typing. Let's see this. Econ. Oh, let's give this guy a plus. That was a good answer. Economics, but I'm missing. I'm into economics too. Just don't know what Econ XD is. What's the XD part? XD. Oh. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. Computer science, economics. Yeah. Yeah, I listened to a lot of why am I blanking on his name? Tyler Cohen. Conversations with Tyler, I like a lot. Politics, but political science. Yeah, I am kind of like, without getting real excited about politics per se. I sort of like the meta of it. So I'm not like a holy roller on politics so much, but I kind of have interest in, so I guess you call it political science, but I never got, real structured about it. Just things like, say, co-ops, for example. Like say you had like a company and it was run by its employees with like democratic votes. What would be the limitations of that? Like, might they make naive and uncompetitive decisions compared to just a traditionally run corporation? Stuff like that's interesting to me. Okay, this is sad. Bam, bam. Yeah. So like, I don't want to have my brain like always upset about this or that. I'd rather just kind of step back from it a little ways and kind of think about the system we're all inside of and how it works, how it might work, stuff like that. I don't necessarily agree with him, but I get a lot of entertainment out of, or maybe like thought-provoking stuff from listening to this guy named Balaji Srinivasan. Yeah, I don't know. I like stuff like that. Do have a hard time listening to like NPR style economic shows though, because I feel like there's some part of their production which requires for whatever information that's provided to be kind of like it's all gonna be all right is the tone, the base tone to how they describe things. They'll say, like, inflation might be bad, but there's something in their tone that just says, like, it's all going to be all right. Just everyone calm down. It's gonna be fine. And maybe it won't be, you know? Maybe it will not be fine. Yeah, shows like Planet Money. Even maybe Freakonomics. It's not like I want the doomer stuff. I just want like the full range of positivity and doom to be on tap, to be a traversable space in the conversation. I mean, I'll listen to like some Steven Pinker too, you know, just to hear that. And that's almost like the opposite side. Have the full range of, you know, hope there as well. What's another one? It was like listening to Mark Andreessen and others talk about their American Dynamism Fund. That's sort of another example of like extreme optimism. Because I do have a sense that it could all be very good or very bad, or probably some mixture of very good and very bad in the future. I wonder though, because you're like in school for economics and you did computer science. Like you're in school now, I'm assuming. Like, does it kind of like drag your curiosity through the mud to have like all these classes you got to turn in assignments and pass tests? Or do you find that like you retain your interest in the topics despite having to go through this educational gauntlet? What was this one? Not confused. It's going to be... Okay, it goes confused. Sad. Sad's the next one. Okay, this one is afraid. This is afraid. Okay, that's afraid. Bam, bam. Alright, get a little flow going, and I will be done with this. Maybe 30 minutes, something like that. Boom, 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 boom. Then once I get this engine, I don't want to call it an engine. Let's call it. Yeah, what will I call it? Yeah, let's call it an engine. Once I get this engine going, and I've got like one good face that's proves the rig. Once I have the rig proven, then I can go into a factory mode for making like the the assets to create different faces. And it doesn't even have to be me that's making them. I'll go back to Bettina or work with other artists. Just pump out a bunch of these. And I have like basically a face kit. Love it. Having an assignment about why public healthcare and insurance is a good idea, what the pitfalls and downsides are. Oh, you're in Norway. I love studying the models. But we have to be not political, so it has to be argued from the models, which is really challenging. I like it. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, it's so much more interesting to me to put down that activism hammer, and just see what's actually there. To have a model that can predict things, that would be kind of cool. I also think about like countries like the Scandinavian countries, like in the U.S. Everyone always says, "Well, look what Sweden does, or look what Norway does," and happiness index, and the issue with comparing the U.S. to Sweden is that the culture and politics and like what people are willing to do and how well certain projects will succeed or not changes. We're terrible at regulating. We're terrible at having like competent government institutions that do things. Because an active part of our politics is always sabotaging them and making them less powerful and more likely to suck. Whereas if you have a country that has more of a background in handling these things, and the population is more accepting, like we ought to do, healthcare well. We ought to do like energy sector subsidies well, or something like that. Then they're more likely to succeed. And you could actually take one country where maybe it would be a good thing if done right, but they just don't know how to do it right, and say, okay, don't have them do this thing that they don't know how to do well yet. Nuclear energy. Make sure you can regulate it well before you go do it. Almost went to Norway. I had plane tickets purchased to go there too, and I accidentally picked the wrong date, and I showed up at the airport with my bags packed to go to Norway, and the lady there said, "Your flight will leave in 2 weeks." So close. I think I'll get there though. Okay, so that's afraid. Okay, delete that. Evil. Now I'm remembering why I got tired of making face art and hired Bettina to do it. There's just so much repetition to it. Whereas even now I'm feeling like I really want to program. I want these assets to be done so I can just code them into the engine. And there's a lot more variety with that work. It's not enough just to be competent at drawing stuff. It's like, do you like it so much that you're willing to spend hours and hours and hours and hours just doing stuff like this? Even the Nordic countries are pretty different from each other, even though it might not look like that from the outside. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like I visited Copenhagen, and then I took the train over to Sweden, Malmo, and you know that was just a giant difference. There's more variety in like ethnicity in Malmo than there was in Copenhagen. But yeah, no, I don't know much about those countries, even though I went and visited for them a bit. But yeah, they did strike me as fairly different. I'm sure if I go to Norway, I'll be in for some differences there too. I did watch this video about Norway, well, at least one aspect of it, about Matte Pack. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I found it really amusing because it was like this very common lunch. It wasn't the best sandwich. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it wasn't like the best sandwich. It was just like an okay sandwich. And you know, you don't put like 2 toppings on your bread. You put 1, and it's only like one side of the bread is the thing it's not like 2 pieces of bread with a whole bunch of sandwich stuff in the middle. So it's like whoever's eating it, they just don't want a really good meal. They just want an okay meal. Unless maybe there's some people that just love Matte Packs. Maybe that's just their favorite thing in the world. I don't know. Suspicious. But you could eat lots of things, right? I mean, you could have some soup, you could have a burger, you could have some fish. And you say, what else are you going to eat? That confuses me. I'm like, there's so many things you could eat. But there is like a simplicity to it, which I do like. There are times when I like don't want to think too much about what I'm going to eat. And so I just go to defaults. I'm not looking for the best meal. It's just like, I can put some food in me. That's it. That's all I need. Just throw some fuel in there. Call it good. Particularly when I start thinking about, like, if I want to eat in a healthy way, then I get really fatigued with all the decision making around getting, like, healthy meals in front of me. When if it's just to lose weight, like honestly, it's not like about picking the best food. It's sort of about just eating less food. So if you don't want to think too much about what you're eating, maybe Matt Pack is a good way to go. Also, I thought it was funny that it was like there's different types of toppings you put on Matt Packs, but just one. Just one. Don't put two. You want some butter on it? Fine. You want like a little bit of a meat pate on it? Sure. But not both. A little bit of jam. One topping. Oh, okay. Okay. So also, like, if I watch some internet video or YouTube video, and there's somebody explaining it to me, I assume they're telling me like what the actual practices are of people, but a lot of times they get it wrong. So I may have like bad information about what people actually do. There might be a lot more variety to it. Whoever's presenting, they would maybe take some joy in the absurdity of some aspects and overplay, like what the actual thing is. So I could have missed some things that were actually different from reality. Okay. I want to get back to coding. I'm just tired of manipulating images, but the work must be done. Okay, how many more I got? I'm probably with the halfway point. Yeah, 6 done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. Past the halfway point. Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing. I can definitely think of times when it would make sense for me. I think most days I do have the same breakfast meal. It's just a breakfast sandwich. But it'd be pretty tasty, have some cheese and eggs and either sausage or Canadian bacon, bit of mayo, toasted bread. So it's a tasty sandwich. But part of the reason for picking it is because I know it's something I like, but I don't have to think too hard about it. I can make it pretty quick. So Matt Pack is kind of close to that, but it's just a little more subdued. Yeah. Now, one of the reasons I want to go to Norway is because I'm like 3rd or 4th generation Norwegian myself. And I've got relatives that, I mean, they don't know me. There's no point in me looking up my relatives in Norway. They would just not have any relationship to me at all. But it'd be kind of cool to go to the country that a large number of my family members came from. That'd be kind of neat. I could probably want to go to Oslo. I mean, I like bigger cities. When I go vacationing, I like to feel like I'm in a place where a lot of things are happening, but I don't really try to. I have no idea which region they came from. None at all. Yeah, so I like cities because I like the idea of lots of things happening around me, even if I'm not involved in very much of it. So I'll go to a big city and I'll spend a large amount of my time there, just like in my hotel room or just chilling in a restaurant or a cafe. I just don't get that excited to go do tourist stuff. It's fun to do simple things, but in a different country. Like getting a haircut or buying groceries. I don't like going on tours that much. Like it really has to be a tour I want to see, or I'm not doing it. I just don't like being led around. It just bugs me. But yeah, I'll get to Norway. We'll get to Norway. There's that one fermented fish thing, though. I think I have to try it once, but I'm almost certain I'll hate it. It's like Stross something. I kind of know what you mean. I know what you mean. That's my phone. That's just my phone. Like a text or email comes in as that shh. But yeah, actually, I do remember that sound from Age of Empires. I just haven't played that game in like a decade or two. Yeah, I used to play like just so many games of Age of Empires. An interesting thing about it that I learned, this is dumb, but Age of Empires, I can say it actually helped me in life. This is really stupid sounding to say that, but here's what I learned from Age of Empires. So I used to play just against the computer AI, and I would beat it pretty easily. But then when I played against humans, they would destroy me. And well, any way that was good. And when I watched these people that were good at it, I noticed they didn't think of their cities the same way I did. They had no emotional attachment to their cities. Like they would create a city which was meant to be destroyed for no other reason than to just distract me. And whenever my city got destroyed, I would have an emotional attachment to it, and I would feel like, oh, I gotta save my city, I gotta save it. When good players would play against me, and one of their cities got destroyed. They were like already building another city someplace else, and it just that lack of emotional attachment to the things that they built gave them an advantage that I didn't have. Whoops. Undo. Redo. Yank that. But yeah, my favorite race, I guess, in Age of Empires was any that had lots of long-range attacks, particularly the Britons with their archers. I just like having like just tons of archers just hanging out in one place, and then like they would be able to attack from a range distance anything that came next to them and make short work of them. And that was like another form of attachment too. Like if you got attached too much to one combination of units, you would not be a good player, because the way those strategic RTSs were built back then, and maybe to some extent now, it's very rock, paper, scissors. So like whatever set of units that you favor, there's another set of units that will disrupt them and win against them. So I can't remember like what was the thing that would beat archers, but it was a bunch of knights or something, cavalry, I can't remember. But there was always something that would beat whatever your favorite thing was. So better players would be switching between different unit combinations in response, and they'd do it very fast. So I can honestly say I had more fun playing against the computer than I did other players. Yeah. All right. Three more. Then get back to coding. Okay, thinking. And there's one classic strategy game that I've never played just out of fear it would be too addictive. It's the Civilization series. I just heard it described to me, and I just realized that's going to be like crack for me. That's going to be like weekends will disappear kind of stuff. Then there's a casual version of it called Polytopia, which I love. But that one, at least I can keep my games down to like an hour long with the way the game is made. Civilization, the whole thing about like getting attached to the things you built, that would cause me to throw a lot of time into it, I think. And I'm kind of out of familiarity with all the latest strategy games and stuff. So I'm even like bringing up super old examples of games. I'm sure there's like really good ones out there now that I'm just not even acquainted with. But my goal is not to play a lot of games. I just kind of want a handful of games that are easy to come back to, and I can use them for those moments where I want to kill a little time and almost have like two sets of thoughts going at the same time. One being the game, and the other being whatever I want to think about besides the game. It's pretty pleasant to listen to podcasts and play casual video games at the same time. I guess, what would you call it? Like a background game as opposed to a foreground game. Yeah, Factorio, I might try it again. Every time I watch every time I start the tutorial for Factorio, I'm like, it's going to be too much. But it's probably one of those things where you just get past a hump and then it's really enjoyable. Yeah, I do like those, what would you call them, construction sim games, I guess. There's like this one company called Zachtronics, and they have like 4 or 5 games like that I can get into. It's like ones where Infinifactory I liked a lot. Just build this giant 3D factory and it accomplishes different goals that are given to you. Probably pretty similar to Factorio, like a 3D version of Factorio. But yeah, it's good stuff. Okay, angry. 2 more. Peaceful construction game that you can't lose. Islanders. That's the epitome of that. I suppose you can still lose, but it's not like anybody's attacking you. It's just if you don't place your buildings well enough to take advantage of the resources that they would gather, then you'll run out of options. But other than that, like, it's definitely peaceful, and there's like nothing stressful about it. So it's definitely a nice background game. Yeah, I'm starting to get anxious to get to coding. Yeah, they really did a nice job on it. It's very well designed. And the last game that I made was it's a puzzle game. It's like there's characters in it in the story. It's mainly about solving puzzles that are grid-based. But I realized something about myself, that I like puzzles, but most puzzle games I give up on after a while. They get to a certain difficulty level, and I think, yes, I can continue to make progress in this game, and I can solve the puzzles. But there's other ways to use my brain in the same way that are satisfying in the same way. And I'm actually creating something. So if I have energy to solve puzzles, I probably have got energy to work on my creative projects, the trickier ones. And that's satisfying in its own way. And I also get to have a thing be created as a result of that activity. So it's kind of taken away my impulse to play puzzle games, but also it's left me a little bit unempathetic with my player base, who think differently about puzzle games than I do. So since the thing I liked the most from the last game I spent 4 years working on, like 4 real years working on it, like moonlighting, but like serious moonlighting. The part that I liked the most was the storytelling, the faces, characters, the voice acting that went into the characters, the interactive storytelling coding that I did, figuring out the logic for when characters should say things. That was the part that I really enjoyed the most out of creating that game. And it was the place where I had the most ideas to do more things afterwards. So I just thought, I'll just do another project. I'm going to drop the puzzles. I'm going to focus on animated faces that you can talk to and advance a story, and I'll build a game based on that. So that's what this is all about. I'm just a far distance right now from the game part of it because I'm building up the tools. So right now I'm kind of creating the parts that will make the game later. Then at some point I'll create maybe some initial prototypes that are fun activities using like the tech I've got from this, and as long as those prototypes are fun, then I'll know I'm good to make a game. If they're not that fun, then I'll have to keep on messing around with different prototypes to see if I can find a fun game. But I think I'll be successful. In particular, speech recognition seems promising. So I've done some demos and stuff with speech recognition, and I think there's some overlooked territory there as far as like what other games or entertainment is doing with speech recognition. It's generally not used in much of anything. Like it's just kind of weird demos, but I think you could make an experience where it feels like you're talking to somebody. I played with all the pieces that lead up to it, and it seems to be quite a plausible idea. So we'll see where I get with it. Alright, so this will make the last emotion of 11. Okay, so if I zoom out, I kind of feel like moving all these eyes over so they're centered better. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, like I would be surprised if there weren't some games that didn't use speech recognition. Elite Dangerous, I don't think I ever played that one, so I'm not surprised at all. I'm not saying it's like a brand new thing to use speech recognition, but I think it's definitely underused because there's not many examples of it. Let's see. And also, I think it's not just using speech recognition on its own. There's like so many ways to do it. Like it's a territory of its own, just all the different things you can do with it. What? Okay. So, hold on. What? Okay, get rid of that. And I just want to select all of you. Then I just want to center you. There you go. There you go. Okay, that looks pretty good. Then this stuff down here, do I need to do anything for it? Not so much. Alright. I'm ready to save this. Let's get rid of. Okay, file. Background won't be useful either. Let's delete that. Okay, save. Export a PNG. Okay. All right. Now I'm in coding land. So I'll come over to my eyes. Okay. So now it's going to be sprite sheet URL. Okay, so I want emotion bitmaps. Back bitmap. Irises bitmap. And lids bitmap. Here, let me give you a quick demo. Yeah. So, Bosk demo. This is the library that I use, but there's a nice quick demo here. So, there it is over here, right? Okay. So this is running in a web browser, right? So here, first you pick the language model you want to use. English will be the correct one for me since I speak English. So load that in. That doesn't take too long. Okay, key thing. This is all offline. Unlike Alexa and Android Auto and Siri and all those big name voice speech recognition solutions, this does not go off to a server with your text. Okay, so I just click the speak button. Oh, did I load the English? Okay, there we go. So this works pretty well. I'm just talking. I can keep talking. It's just going to continuously recognize my speech. This is free, open source, works entirely offline. There's no server-side communication at all after it's loaded in. So it doesn't spy on you, or at least the code that I write can have a guarantee to it that it just doesn't spy on you. I won't do it because it'll ruin the stream, but I could turn my internet off and all this code would still work. So I don't have to send all this text off to a server. So if I've got, this level of speech recognition, which is pretty accurate, with a very low latency. If you see on the stream here, these words are coming just less than a second, sub-second after I say them out loud. So if I've got those capabilities, then I can pick out key phrases from it and have like a story space to move through, where if you match certain keywords, the character will say different things. And it's not like I have to do really fantastic AI to come up with good responses for characters to things you say. I just have to code some simple matching patterns. So that's what I mean. Like, you could be talking to this character, and I've got all the individual pieces of it working. I just need to bring them together now. Okay, bon. Okay, ta-da. Okay, back. Okay, this is all good. So then, yeah, you just pass in the URL. That's not a bad theme. It's not bad at all. That was one that I brainstormed on a bit. A reason why I like murder mystery is because you can use deductive reasoning in it. So imagine you come to this guy and you want to know something that he might know. You could ask him, was Jonathan in the room with you at 7 a.m.? And there could be a real model of reality that these characters latch onto to express what their experiences were. Like, you could, instead of just having a bunch of static text that responds to different things that characters, that the players say to the characters, you could have a model, kind of like in the game Clue, where you say certain things happened, like somebody was in this room at a certain time and they had a certain murder weapon with them. See, those kinds of games are, I think, a pretty good structure that speech recognition could be compatible with. There's one of my favorite games, Return of the Obra Dinn, or something, Obra Dinn, Voyage of the Obra Dinn, but basically it's got Obra Dinn in it. It's just this deductive reasoning game where you're just trying to figure out what the heck happened in the past with a series of clues that help you figure out, like, this person's name was this and their job was this other thing and they died in a certain way, and you just kind of fill it in as you gather more information. So I do think that could work pretty well with speech recognition. Okay, so we say, okay, we want to load all the bitmaps. Just do it that way. And what is it going to return? It will return just all these things, right? So let's say say bitmaps. I wonder if there's a way to inline these instead of having it go under my bitmaps. I won't fuss with that. This is fine. Okay, so I is component state. Oh, well, that's what I want. Yeah. I is component state equals I is bitmap, and yeah. Okay, that'll do it. So then this can return I is bitmap. Load the image there. Okay. Okay, return motion bitmaps. Image to emotions bitmap. Image to back bitmap. Yeah. I guess it depends like what you want to do, but as a web framework, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Close image to although for like data analysis, Jupyter Notebook and Anaconda is really good, but then you'd have to do Python. There's no UI to it really, but if you just like wanting to manipulate data, that seems to be a really nice toolkit for it. Image to lids bitmap. Image to lids bitmap. Okay. Okay, so then we go function. Keras. So the quick answer is no, I do not. What the heck is Keras? Python Deep Learning API. Okay. I don't know that. No. Yeah, I haven't gotten into like machine learning, deep learning, any of that stuff yet. Almost got a feeling like I shouldn't, because it would be breaking off a lot to chew. Image, and then what is it? It's a image HTML component, something like that. Okay, it was mouth. HTML image component, that's what it is. I guess my main thing for learning computer languages and libraries and frameworks and technologies is I get to a point where maybe the things I'm doing that I know well, I'm a little bored of, and then I pick something new. Let's see, the author, Francois Cholet. Francois Cholet.
She pushed someone. She's one of those types at first glance. But do we understand?
Hey, just look.
I'm trying to be nice and paste this. Come on.
She pushed someone. She's one of those types at first glance. But do we understand?
Hey, just look away.
Dumb. Why would it?
She pushed someone. She's one of those.
Twitch. Cholet.
She pushed someone. She's one of those types at first glance. But do we understand?
Hey, just look away.
What a bruise.
Okay, so that's that. Now let's just go ahead and make the rest of these. Image to back bitmap. Oh, yeah, this is totally wrong. This is going to be image bitmap. Okay. And this down here is just one bitmap. Okay. And the rest. That, like this. Oops. Okay, so the emotion bitmaps. Let's take a look at this. These 128 high, 256 width. Oh, man, I just noticed that. Wow. So we got a celebrity on, huh? So silly. You ask who the name is, and I go to the trouble to, just for your convenience, to first paste. I fail at pasting the name to you. Then I hand type it. And now I have done you the respect of typing your own name into the chat for you. Let's see. Okay, so if you made this thing, then I will look just a little deeper into it. Keras, the Python Deep Learning API. first off, I don't know anything about this framework, but just like the layout of the page here is very nice. Holy crud. It's very impressive web page here, and you got quotes at the bottom. But I don't want to give you too many compliments, because at a certain point, I'm just kind of like... I don't know. It's like if you've done all this stuff, and that's the thing which the depth that you got in your project is the thing which deserves a compliment. But I have not been depthful in my consideration of your project. Man. Although I don't know that you're the real Francois Cholette. I do not know that. I do not know. You could be someone impersonating. You could be someone impersonating. All right, let's see. Francois Cholette. Let's see if we got you on Wikipedia here. Oh man, dude, it's not nice to have someone on my stream that's accomplished like this. Pretty cool. TensorFlow. Oh wow, Keras. Yeah, it's not an area that I've really done anything with yet. That's probably why I didn't know your name when you popped on, but yeah, very, very cool that you stopped by. But yeah, so I'm trying to do something that sometimes machine learning, deep learning is applied to. I must sign an NDA before I write you an email. Okay. So, okay. I'll tell you what. I will send you an email right now. But I have to do it off stream. So I'll go over to my other computer, which is not streaming. And I'll say mail.google. And I'm going to send an email to Francois Cholette at google.com. The trick is weird. Sorry, I'm looking at something on my other screen. The trick is I'm email guessing, so I don't really know if the name is laid out that way at Google. Hey, it's from the stream. Okay. There, send it. It will probably bounce on me. Yeah. Could very well be a troll, but I like to have a little bit of hope about things, you know. Yep. Anyways, I sent you an email, so I expect to receive your book. Okay, image to back. Okay, return. These are all going to be kind of the same, but they'll have different coordinates, and this one will be a little bit different too. let's do the constants for the eyes. CX eyes equals, what do we say, it was 256. CY eyes was 128. Const Y. Let's see, Y emotion eyes equals 0. I guess I'll do X eyes equals 0 since they're all in one line. I'm sorry, man. You are straining credibility. But I did send you an email. Okay, so the emotion eyes is going to be there. Y back equals, let's see, where is it going to be at? It's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 times CY eyes. Const Y. Okay, but you know what? Because you might have put somebody else's phone number there, I've got to. I don't know. I do not have a large stream, so I won't pretend that it's going to be a big hassle for somebody to receive like 2 phone calls from weirdos. Okay, Y irises equals Y back. No, let's just do 12 times CY eyes. Okay, the last one was lids. Const Y lids equals 13 times CY eyes. Okay. So then down here, const bitmaps equals Google says it's a fake number, and yeah. Well, that's, yeah, I guess it's got that 555, which is what you see in movies and stuff. I don't know, Francois, you're a devious fella. Okay, bitmaps equals, let's see, image bitmap, bam equals bam. Okay. Okay, 4 let emotion I equals emotion. Come on. Neutral. Let's say 0. Emotion I less than emotion. Count. Okay, bitmaps push. Await. Create image bitmap. I want to carve out from the source bitmap X eyes, Y emotion eyes plus emotion eye times CY eyes, and then we do CX eyes and CY eyes, and then I'll just make little individual bitmaps easily addressable for each one of the eyes. But let's say I have my import. There we go. Then just return the bitmaps, and that should do it. Okay. Next, this is X eyes, Y back This is X eyes, Y irises. Y lids. Okay. Then here we load all the bitmaps. Turn. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I use words that don't necessarily mean the same things to other people. But yeah, I haven't used the Emacs. I've not ever used it. I know a lot of people are big fans of it. It's kind of a classic old school choice. I do see some value in always having at least one commonly available terminal text editor in your head as a coder. So for me, it's VI or Vim. That's just so you can like SSH onto a server someplace and edit a settings file without feeling it's an impediment, you know? Okay, so load bitmaps. Sprite sheet URL. Is Yank kind of like cut and paste, or like you select the text and then you do yank and then it moves it? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, yank is a copy as well. Yank is paste, okay. Got it. Kill. Alright, so I kind of don't like what I'm doing here because they're two different data structures. So let me be a little more formal. Const ibitmaps. Yeah, even like in Vi, which is the one I know a little bit, like I only like learn just the basic stuff. I'd much rather be in the graphical IDE for doing like real editing, but yeah, I can do basic stuff in Vi, and then it makes it easier to, you know, like I said, SSH into places and do stuff. And then the graphical IDE, like I never get too attached to any one. I just feel like there's always going to be a need every couple of years to move to a new IDE for some reason. I just don't like my brain to kind of get stuck too much on one. Because, I don't know, maybe like Francois Cholet will come up with a new IDE next year that uses deep learning to figure out what I'm going to type, and I'll need to switch to that one. Okay, let's see, return. And even though this is a little wordy, I still prefer it. make a clean separation between let's see, I can do better. I can do emotion bitmaps, destructure this back bitmap, irises bitmap, lids bitmap. Okay. Then just go like that. Okay. So that loads. Okay, render is going to be the tricky part, but I don't have to do everything right away. On my component state here. What? By the way, why are you upset here? Oh, I got all these junkers up here. There we go. Take that out. Okay, so on the render component state will be giving me these guys here. So let's just take this. Okay. So I think the way to do this it's just the thing that is just bad for a developer, I think, is to have like your neurons all wrapped up in one tool. Then you get this inflexibility around what tools you're going to use, and it just holds you back. So it's like there's you got to be kind of willful about what you learn or don't learn. Okay, so let's draw back bitmap. Iris's bitmap. This is going to look like a mess, but I would like to see all of them there at once. Okay, I'm also going to need current emotion. So emotion bitmap. Current emotion bitmaps. Current emotion. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to have my pub sub stuff in there. Topics, subscribe event. What? Okay, so that doesn't go there. Good. It goes here. Okay. And then I need to subscribe. Subscribe event. It's going to be topics. receive an event. I'll need this to be set to another variable. Yeah, Vikendi, it was nice having you around and talking a bit. And yeah, definitely, come back sometime. And yeah, have a nice evening. Okay, so this needs to be okay, and then over here this is going to be const. What am I returning? Eyes component state eyes component state equals. Okay, then we return eyes component state. Okay. Take this, bring it down here, and when this gets called, it's going to set I don't need this, just do eyes component state current emotion equals event as emotion. Okay, so that will update that. I don't know, this might actually load. What is your complaint? I just need one more of these. Okay, that gives me some other bugs. Oh yeah, just gotta go like that. Okay, that does that. App. Gotta load my eyes component. Const eyes equals await. Load eyes component. And say sprite sheet URL images Billy eyes PNG bam bam bam. What? Oh, it's not a sprite sheet, it's a sprite sheet. So then I need to add the eyes, add child, add eyes. Just for now, I'll start with 0. Okay. So that all might work. Everything will be positioned in a bad way, but let's see if it is at least. Oh, I've regressed. Some exception. Okay. Is it? Yeah, that URL, I saved it to the wrong place somehow. Let's see where it tried to save it to. Or, here, let's see. Okay, so this looks like it's just in the wrong location. Okay, cool. The eyes are there. Okay. I think I'll take this part out so that the eyes can just kind of drop on top. And then I'll try to move things in basically the right spot, but I won't be able to get it to look completely right until I do that fairly complex masking stuff I was talking about much earlier. But let me at least get the eyes positioned in the right place. I'll probably leave the masking for another session. So what I do with the mouth, I'm going to do with the eyes. I'm just going to turn them into a weird mutant creature that has no mouth and no eyes. And the mouth and eyes will pop on top instead. Okay. Ah. So weird. There we go. Okay. Need to add a few gray pixels so it looks smooth. Anti-aliasing by hand. Okay, just a little more over here. Weird. Oh, the opacity went to 5%, that's why. Okay, edit, undo the pencil. Why you went to 5? Let's be 50. Okay. There. Okay, I think I'll do it. Export this baby. Non-work assets in public images. Replace. Okay. We come back to here. Okay, that's good. So let's see if we can get all this business kind of down where it's meant to be. Try 100. Okay, 150. Okay. 20. Pretty close. 25. Okay. So the masking isn't there yet. But let's make sure that the emotions work. Neutral. Confused. Sad. Afraid. Evil. Suspicious. Amused. Happy. Thinking. Angry. Irritated. Works like a champ. And now that I've got the eyes showing emotions, they're doing at least half of the work of expressing the character's emotion. So when the mouth is moving, showing its different visemes, it can still convey the emotion, even though I have to temporarily give up using the mouth to express emotion while the character's talking. Now if I go over here, then this is the rest. This is the not talking state. And if I'm not talking, then the bottom half or the mouth that's here can be used to express the emotion. And then it goes neutral, down, 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 down. And that's going to work. That's going to work. I got to do the masking, but I'm going to save that for another session. It's been a really decent session, actually. So, good time to stop right here. All right. Stopping the stream. Stopping the stream. Stop.